Every lesson is a lyric in the universal song. Oh, the lessons of the journey, I'll weave them in my song.
Hello, and welcome to Lessons of the Journey, the podcast where we dive into the stuff we should have been taught in school. I'm Coach Nicole, and I'm here with my co-host, Coach Jen. Today, we're tackling a topic that touches every single one of us. It's something people talk about all the time, and something we all secretly, or maybe not so secretly, hope to be experts at. Love. Love is something we all want, but we don't all feel it the same way. Sometimes we give love generously and still feel disconnected. Sometimes we receive love from someone, but it doesn't land. And sometimes we're doing everything we know how to do, and it still feels like we're missing each other. In this 3-part series, we're exploring the subtle, powerful disconnect between how we show love and how we feel loved. Not just in romantic relationships, but with friends, family, and even ourselves. We'll talk about why the love you give may not match the love you crave, how to recognize what your partner, your child, or your friend actually needs to feel loved, and how to express connection more clearly without burning out, giving up, or pretending you don't care. Because love isn't about guessing, it's about noticing. And when we notice more, we connect more.
Yeah. Have you ever bent over backward for someone only to feel unseen or unappreciated? Or maybe someone's gone out of their way to do something nice for you, and instead of feeling cared for, you kind of felt nothing. Here's the thing. Most of us give love differently than we want to receive it. And when we don't recognize that disconnect, we can end up in confusion, resentment, and even burnout. The truth is, we often show love the way we were taught to, not necessarily the way we truly need it, and definitely not always in the way someone else can feel it. Psychologists sometimes call this your love blueprint. It's a sort of internal map for what love looks and feels like to you. That blueprint is shaped over years. It's influenced by your upbringing, your past relationships, culture, and even moments of trauma. In this episode, we're going to explore why the love you express might not reflect the love you actually crave, and how getting curious about your own patterns is the first step to creating deeper, more authentic connection with the people in your life.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
Yay.
We're going to start with social learning theory. This is a concept that was introduced by psychologist Albert Bandura. And it says that we learn a huge amount of our behavior simply by watching other people. We don't need to be directly taught, and we don't always have to experience the consequences ourselves. Instead, we observe, we imitate, and over time, those patterns become part of who we are. Think of it like this. If a child sees their parents hugging often, speaking kindly, and making time for one another, they don't just notice it, they absorb it as a model for what love looks like. On the flip side, if a child grows up in a home where love is shown through gifts, acts of service, or even in more subtle or less affectionate ways, that becomes their baseline. What's interesting is that Bandura's research showed this learning isn't just about copying, it's about internalizing. Over time, these observed patterns can shape our beliefs about what's normal, quote unquote, what's valuable, and what's worth repeating. And unless we stop and question those patterns, we can carry them into adulthood without realizing they're simply habits, not necessarily what we truly need.
Yeah, they say that children will internalize what they hear other people speak to other people about them. So if you really want your kid to take something in, you tell another adult within earshot of your kid that thing.
Yeah, it's why we don't ever say Quinny is shy. I don't like the term
Yeah.
shy. Actually, when she's around people she's comfortable with, she's not shy at all.
Yeah.
She's just shy with people she doesn't know. We try not to use the word shy around her because I don't want her to internalize that.
We do that all the time. Our kid is standing right next to us. We're having a conversation with another adult. We assume they're not paying attention. They are so paying attention.
Especially to your voice, Mom. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So when you think about your own love blueprint, it's worth asking, what parts of this are really mine? And what parts did I just inherit from the people and culture around me? That awareness is the first step in getting intentional about how you give and receive love, rather than just running on autopilot. For example, maybe you grew up in a home where love was expressed through gifts, holidays, birthdays, little surprises, just because. If that was the norm, you might instinctively give gifts as your go-to way of showing love. But here's the catch. You might actually need something completely different to feel deeply loved yourself. Maybe you light up most when you hear genuine words of affirmation, but because giving gifts was what you learned, you never think to express love through words. That's where the trouble starts. We assume that because we made the effort, because we did something loving, it will automatically be received as love. That's where the research of Dr. William Chopik comes in. He's a psychologist at Michigan State University who studied thousands of couples to find what truly predicts relationship happiness and health. One of his key findings, it's not about having a perfect personality match or sharing all the same interests. Instead, it's actually about kindness and emotional stability. Couples who are considerate, patient, and able to manage their emotions well tend to be much happier than those who just click superficially. This tells us that everyday kindness, the small, consistent gestures that say, I see you and I care, is the real foundation of connection.
Awesome. And here's something fascinating. Chopik's research also shows that having a happy, optimistic partner can literally boost your own health. When your partner encourages healthy habits and supports you emotionally, it can lower risks for diseases and increase longevity. Love isn't just good for the heart emotionally, it's good for the heart physically too. This all ties into the term partner responsiveness, being tuned in, responding to emotional needs, and showing kindness and stability over time. It's not about perfectly speaking the right love language, but about being truly present and attuned. So as we explore how to understand your own love blueprint and better connect with others, keep in mind that the heart of it all is simple kindness and steady presence. Those are the gifts that build lasting love.
Imagine all you had to be was a good person.
Imagine.
All right, now that we've unpacked some of the science behind how love really works, the kindness, the responsiveness, the emotional tuning, it's time to turn inward. Because here's the thing. Before you can give love in a way that truly connects, you've got to understand what fills your own tank. Many of us don't take the time to explore our own love blueprint. We fall into patterns we inherited without questioning whether they actually meet our needs. But becoming curious about your own emotional wiring is a powerful step toward deeper connection, not just with others, but for yourself.
Yes. So how do you start? Well, here are some simple science-backed ways to get intentional about discovering what makes you feel loved. Number 1, reflect on moments you felt truly cared for. Take a moment and think back to specific times when you felt deeply seen, valued, or comforted. Maybe it was a quiet evening when someone really listened to you without distraction, or a small unexpected act like a note, a hug, or a favor that made you feel important. Then ask yourself, what was happening in that moment? What did the other person do or say? These moments are like emotional fingerprints unique to you. They reveal the ways your heart lights up. Journaling about these memories can deepen your awareness. And don't rush. Sometimes it takes revisiting multiple memories before a clear pattern emerges. Number 2, track your love moments throughout the week. This technique is called experience sampling in psychology, and it's super powerful because it helps you tune into real-time emotional experiences. For the next 7 days, whenever you feel appreciated, connected, or cared for, pause and note what just happened. Did someone say something kind? Did they spend uninterrupted time with you? Did they help you with a task? You can jot those down in a journal, a notes app, or even a voice memo. Over time, these snapshots add up and show you what consistently fills your emotional tank, often revealing needs you didn't realize you had.
Well, isn't that interesting? You've heard Jen over the course of so many episodes say, I take notes on myself, and looky here.
I'm telling you to take the notes now.
It works for everything. You need to know yourself best. Okay, number 3, notice what you long for. Sometimes the clearest clues come from what's missing. Pay attention to the moments when you feel that pang or longing of disappointment. What do you find yourself wishing for from your partner, your friend, or your family member? Maybe it's more words of encouragement. Maybe it's just someone to sit quietly with you. Or perhaps you crave more shared activities or physical closeness. These unspoken wishes is your heart talking to you, letting you know what you truly value. The key here is to listen without judgment. We're so good at that. We judge ourselves so much. You don't need to criticize yourself or others. Just acknowledge the truth of your own feelings. Number 4, differentiate habit from true desire. We often get caught in a familiar pattern because they feel safe and comfortable. But comfort isn't always the same as fulfillment. Ask yourself these questions. When I show love this way, do I feel genuinely satisfied? Or am I doing it because it's what I learned, what feels familiar, or what is expected of me? This is a gentle but powerful self-check that can free you from autopilot. For example, you might always give gifts like we were talking about because that's what you saw growing up. But maybe what actually fills your cup is a heartfelt conversation or quality time. Becoming aware of this distinction lets you start shifting your pattern toward what truly nourishes your heart. And remember, this isn't about fixing yourself or ticking boxes. It's about gently exploring your heart and building a clear map of what love really means to you. Because once you know that, you can start asking for and giving love that truly resonates. And that's where our connections blossom.
Love that. Here's an interesting question to consider. Does expressing love help the giver feel more love too? You might think love flows one way from the person receiving it, but research and experience suggests it's often a two-way street. Psychologists have found that when we express love or kindness to others, it can actually boost our own feelings of connection, happiness, and even physical health. This is something called the helper's high, a positive emotional state that comes from doing good for others. In fact, studies show that people who regularly engage in caring behaviors, whether it's giving compliments, acts of service, or just offering a listening ear, tend to report feeling more satisfied in their relationships and more emotionally fulfilled overall. But here's the catch. This works best when the way you express love aligns with your own love blueprint. If you're giving love in a way that feels authentic and meaningful to you, it can feed your own emotional well-being. On the other hand, if you're expressing love out of obligation or in ways that don't resonate with your heart, it can feel draining or even lead to resentment. We are going to talk about what to do when that happens. So part of getting intentional about your love blueprint is not only understanding how you like to receive love, but also how you like to give love in a way that nourishes you. Because when the giving and receiving align, when love flows freely in both directions, that's when relationships truly flourish.
That's really cool. When you were saying knowing yourself, how you like to receive and then giving it that way, I flashed back to high school. So I had to drive 30 minutes to my high school. And I was an interesting child. I guess I was doing this without recognizing that I was doing this. Often if I was feeling like a disconnect inside of my class, or I would go early and pick up 24 donuts and take it and just be there. Everybody, of course, in high school is flocking to the donuts. And I was like, wow, Jen, that's so cool. It's great when you did it. And I recognize now that I was doing that because I needed to receive something like that. I needed to feel a connection with somebody, and I didn't know how to go about doing that without giving something. And that goes way back to my childhood. This is all very fascinating. It's bringing up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. I know my love blueprint. Whenever there's events, I like to give my time, effort, and energy toward the event. I have a lot of experience with events. So I'll arrange flowers, I'll arrange setups, and people are always very happy with the results. And I enjoy doing it. That being said, when I'm doing an event, I need people that I can just say, go do this, go do this. But I don't need other people bringing that same energy. But it's an energy that I feel like I have to give, and it fills me up. I always feel so good about it. So I'm learning my blueprint too, but I've never really looked at it all like that. This is fascinating to me. I love this.
Unraveling quite a bit. Good stuff. See, if we knew back then, right?
What we're learning now. Better late than never.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
our other tagline. Better late than never.
So you've started to explore your own love blueprint, as Nicole and I are doing right now. And you're getting curious about what truly makes you feel loved and fulfilled. That's a huge step. But here's the thing. Most of us aren't in this journey alone. We have partners, we have friends, family members, each with their own unique blueprints. And sometimes those blueprints don't line up perfectly. I'd say often those blueprints don't line up perfectly. Maybe you crave quality time, but your partner shows love through acts of service. There's a disconnect. Maybe you thrive on words of affirmation, but your best friends tend to express love with gifts. When those differences happen, it can feel frustrating or lonely, even if everyone's trying their best. So, Nicole, how do you bridge that gap without losing yourself or the connection?
Yeah, let's talk about this. Number one, start with curiosity, not judgment. When we feel misunderstood or disconnected, it's really easy to slip into that judgment thinking. Why don't they just love me the way I want? Or they don't care enough. But those thoughts, they only widen that gap. Instead, try approaching with curiosity. Ask open-ended questions like, what makes you feel most cared for? Or can you tell me about a time you really felt loved?
Wait, are you asking for vulnerability?
I am. Nailed it. This shifts the focus from blame to understanding. It invites your partner or friend to share their story, and that sharing itself builds connection. Remember, curiosity is a skill you can practice. It's about listening deeply without planning your response or trying to fix things right away. I love that statement, by the way. Curiosity is a skill you can practice. That's one of my takeaways.
I was scrolling and I found this podcast that I love. It's called Tonight's Conversation. It was one of the women on the panel, and this statement blew my mind. And it was this: uncommunicated expectations create planned resentment.
Oh.
Done.
That's some accountability.
Holy hell.
Mic drop.
I was like, and I'm done for the night. That's everything. Now I have a lot of work to do.
Wow.
Yep.
Uncommunicated expectations create planned resentment.
It's like you're choosing to resent somebody by creating an expectation that they couldn't fulfill because you never told them about it.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. Okay.
How often do we do that?
Because we're not being curious.
Yeah, we're not being curious.
Curiosity is a tough one for me, which is odd because in the world and the way the world works, I'm curiouser than most are curious. And yet in my relationships, I don't bring in that curiosity. I'm so curious about how humans function, how the world works, how science works, all of it. I'm so curious. And when it comes to my relationships, I don't get curious enough. That's an aha for me.
My most recent tattoo, which was years ago, I have curiouser and curiouser tattooed on my feet. Now, curiouser is not a word, y'all. It's
No.
from Alice in Wonderland.
Yep.
Twice. It's on both feet for exactly this reason. Because if we don't show up in curiosity, all shit goes awry. It's out.
It's absolutely true. And the truth is, over time, this kind of curiosity can transform frustration into empathy. And empathy is the bridge to closeness. There's some gems in that one. All right. Number 2, communicate your needs clearly and kindly. Understanding someone else's blueprint is vital, but so is making your own visible. This means being clear about what you need. Try statements like, I feel really loved when you take time to listen without distractions. Or, I appreciate it when you say encouraging things. It helps me feel supported. Notice the difference when you speak from your own experience rather than saying, you never listen or you don't show love properly. I statements versus you statements are always best. We've talked about them before. Kind, clear communication creates a safe space for dialogue instead of defensiveness. It invites your loved ones to meet you where you are instead of feeling accused or overwhelmed.
And I would like to point out that this also takes vulnerability. And why don't we do this? Because to become vulnerable and express what you truly want allows space to not receive it. It opens it up for what if that other person hears me and chooses not to? Which is why we shift blame. You, right? We have many episodes on that. Go back and listen to the way we're supposed to talk to each other. But if we shift the blame to you, then I didn't have to be vulnerable. I didn't have to open myself up. I didn't have to crack open. I didn't have to accept unknown disappointment. And that's what makes that so hard. And it's not the right thing to do.
And we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So true. So true. So number 3, look for the overlap and celebrate it. You might be surprised how much common ground you actually share. Even if your love blueprints seem different on the surface, maybe you both value spending quality time, but one prefers an active outing and the other a quiet evening at home. Or you both appreciate acts of kindness, just expressed in different ways. Highlight these overlaps and celebrate them. They're your relationship's connection anchors.
That's a good
Connection
phrase.
anchors. Great term. Building on shared values and expressions of love strengthens your bond and creates a sense of teamwork. It also reminds you that differences don't have to divide. You can honor both your needs in ways that fit your unique relationship.
Teamwork makes the dream work, y'all.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Anchors.
So, number 4, you guys, this can be fun. Be willing to adapt and experiment. Flexibility is a secret ingredient in thriving relationships. Sometimes that means stepping outside your comfort zone to express love in ways that don't come naturally. For example, if your partner's blueprint includes physical touch, but that's not your go-to, you might practice small gestures like holding hands or a quick hug. Psychologists call this behavioral flexibility, and studies show couples who adapt their behaviors to each other report higher satisfaction and connection. It's important to remember that this isn't about losing yourself. It's about growing your emotional vocabulary and creating new ways to say, I love you. Think of it as expanding your toolkit for connection, not changing who you are fundamentally. I love the tools. More tools in the tool belt. All right, number 5, practice patience and kindness with yourself and others. We seem to always fall back on this. A number of our episodes have told you patience and kindness with yourself and others is a necessary go-to. Bridging different love blueprints is a process, not a quick fix. There will be times when you misread signals, feel hurt, or struggle to get on the same page. And that's totally normal. Patience is key, giving yourself and your loved ones grace to learn, stumble, and grow. Kindness, both inward and outward, fuels this process. When you can forgive missteps and approach challenges with compassion, you create a safer, more resilient space for love to deepen. And over time, these small acts of patience and kindness weave a stronger fabric of connection that can weather life's ups and downs. And remember, none of us come into relationships with perfect blueprints. What matters is the willingness to understand, communicate, adapt, and care with kindness. That's how love grows, even across all of our differences.
You guys have heard me mention before, I have an app. It's called Insight Timer. And every day I set a daily affirmation. And mine today is, today I will give grace and patience. Now you would think, oh, that's interesting because we're talking about this today. That is my intention 90% of the time. It's a constant reminder. Give grace and patience. And when I said it, I always think internally and externally, internally and externally, internally and externally.
Oh, you're speaking into my life. I have a 3-year-old, a now 6-year-old, and an almost 11-year-old. And grace and kindness are literally the thing that I wake up going, please, God, give me grace and kindness with these children. I need it today. I need it every day. Give it to me, Lord.
Well, I got to add kindness. Mine is grace and patience, but I feel like patience is the space for kindness.
Yes.
If I'm being patient, then I have space for kindness. If I don't have patience, there's no kindness to it.
No, you're right. I said kindness, but you're exactly right. It's the patience that leads to the unkindness. I don't think any of us intend to be unkind. When your patience is paper thin, woo, that unkind just creeps right in.
So true.
Yeah.
And because you don't give that space for kindness. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, the patience leads to kindness and giving grace. Oh, so important. Let's dive deeper into something you mentioned, Jen, what relationship experts call behavioral flexibility. Simply put, behavioral flexibility is your ability to adapt how you express love and care to better meet the needs of the people you care about, even if it's different from what feels natural to you. So think about it this way. When you first learn to speak a new language, it might feel awkward or unfamiliar. By the way, an actual language, not a love language. I know we're talking about love languages today. Let's say you're learning a second language. It might feel awkward or unfamiliar, but with practice, you become more fluent and it opens up deeper connection with others. Mm-hmm. Behavioral flexibility is a bit like that, but with emotional expression. So why does behavioral flexibility even matter to you? Well, research shows that couples who are more behaviorally flexible, who can adjust their ways of showing love based on what their partner needs, tend to be happier and more resilient. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or changing your core self. Instead, it's about expanding that emotional toolkit that you have. Get your kit bigger. Maybe you're not naturally someone who gives compliments often, but you try because you know your partner values words of affirmation. Or you usually prefer talking things out, but learn to show love through small acts of service. This kind of flexibility helps bridge differences in love blueprints because it shows your partner that you see them, you care about their experience, and you're willing to meet them where they are. It's a powerful way of saying, your needs matter to me. Of course, behavioral flexibility doesn't mean you have to change everything or lose yourself in the process. It's about finding a balance, maintaining your own authenticity while growing new ways to connect. That balance creates a deeper, richer relationship where both people feel seen, valued, and loved.
Yeah. When I was growing up, it was treat others the way you want to be treated, the golden rule. And that has since morphed into something much more like this. Treat others the way they want to be treated.
They want or need.
Yep.
I refer to it as the platinum rule.
There you go.
Yep.
Better.
Platinum. Love it. Wonderful.
Yeah. If you want to strengthen your relationships, practicing behavioral flexibility is one of the best tools you can use. It takes awareness, effort, and patience, but the payoff is connection that will last. Now that we understand what behavioral flexibility is and why it's so important, let's talk about some concrete ways you can become stronger in this skill. Here are 5 practical ideas to help you grow your emotional adaptability. Number 1, observe and learn. Pay close attention to how your partner or loved ones express and receive love. Notice their cues. What makes them light up? What seems to fall flat? The more you observe without judgment, the better you'll understand the specific ways they feel connected. Number 2, start small and experiment. Make it fun. You don't need to overhaul your entire style overnight. Try small, intentional changes, like offering a compliment if that's new for you, or carving out focused quality time. See how it feels, both for you and for them, and adjust as you go. Number 3, practice active listening. When you listen deeply, you gather clues about your loved one's needs and preferences. Reflect back what you hear to make sure you're understanding correctly. Something like, it sounds like spending Sunday afternoons together really matters to you. This shows you care and guides your flexible responses. It also allows for them to correct you if you're not right. And it opens up conversation. And that was the whole purpose.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I like that it adds saying, because that really matters to you. I mean, that's such an expression of I'm paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Number 4, be open about your efforts. Let your loved one know you're trying new ways to connect. Sharing your intentions helps build empathy and patience on both sides. It also invites feedback so you can refine what works best. P.S. It's also vulnerable.
Oh, Lord. Well, love, vulnerability, hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Like, can you
go.
really have one without the other? I think this is a really important, yet maybe understated thing, because earlier on you were saying, and you're totally right, we sit there and we start with a you never, you this, you, and we assume poor intention. We just automatically do it. No matter if we know or not that the person really loves and cares for us, we assume poor intention when we get up here and start making up stories. So if you can say, hey, my intention is this is what I'm working on. I really am coming from the best place. I would like you to please understand that, even if I miss. And then maybe that other person, if it's not landing, goes, well, they didn't really do it on purpose. They told me they were trying. And then maybe that gives you the opportunity to be like, yeah, man, that wasn't it. Let's try again a different way.
That one didn't quite work.
It opens up the conversation again.
For feedback, yes. I don't get this exactly correct, but never attribute to malice what you can attribute to being oblivious.
Yeah.
People just don't know. People are living their lives.
And they're not mind readers. None of us are.
Let's give an opportunity for feedback. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you, speaking as a woman, if you come to me and you say, I'm working on connecting more with you, here's what I'm doing, let me know how it's going. You just got big points.
Hello.
I'll
let you know how it's going.
That's connection right there. Just in saying that without even doing the efforts yet. You just told us you want to make the effort. I mean, hello.
Agreed.
Number 5, reflect and adjust regularly. Take time to check in with yourself and your loved one about how things are going. Again, just like I just said, more points for you.
Yeah.
How am I doing? Oh, you care enough to check in? Oh, what feels genuine and helpful? What feels forced or uncomfortable? Flexibility is the practice. Be gentle with yourself as you learn and grow, and be gentle with your partner as you're communicating with them. This is for you. I want you to feel the love. Remember, behavioral flexibility isn't about perfection. It's about willingness. The willingness to step outside your comfort zone, to deepen connection, and show love in ways that truly resonate. With practice, it becomes more natural and enriching for both you and the people you care about.
Oh, this is such good stuff.
It really is.
You'd hope, and I say hope in that want maybe is a better word. You'd want your parents to be able to express all of this to you. This is so necessary in life, in all relationships. None of us really get it. That's why the 5 Love Languages has sold a quadrillion copies, because everybody's like, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me read this book.
Right.
So as we wrap up today's episode, let's just bring it all together. From the love blueprints we inherit to the way we express love to the deep science that shows why it matters so much to get this right. Our nervous system is wired to respond to connection in powerful ways. Take physical touch, for example. When someone holds your hand or hugs you, your brain releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This hormone creates feelings of calm and trust. There's a fascinating study by James Cone where participants faced stress while holding their partner's hands. And what do you think the result was? Their brains registered less threat and felt safer. Physical affection literally changes how our brain responds to fear. But what if touch isn't your primary way of feeling loved? Maybe words of affirmation are your thing. And that's just as valid. Verbal praise lights up reward centers in the brain, boosting self-esteem and connection. So when someone says, "I'm proud of you," or "you matter to me," that's just not nice words. It's neurobiology at work. Taking this further, a study by Egbert and Polk tested the idea of love languages in real life. What they found was simple, yet profound. When people receive love in the way they most understand, whether that's through touch, words, quality time, or acts of service, relationship satisfaction rises dramatically. Not because people are doing more, but because they're doing what matters most to their partner.
And that really is the heart of this whole journey. We tend to love the way we were taught to love, our own emotional dialect shaped by upbringing, culture, and personality. But the people we care about might be speaking a completely different dialect. You might be showing love through cooking dinner while they're silently wishing for a hug. Or you might be showering them with compliments while they just want to spend an hour watching a movie together. The key then isn't just to love harder, it's to love smarter, to notice how the people around us feel loved. And that kind of empathy is not just warm and fuzzy, it's a skill backed by science. Psychologist William Ikes calls it empathic accuracy, and research shows it's one of the strongest predictors of lasting, meaningful relationships. The good news? Empathic accuracy is learnable. Once you become aware of the disconnect between how you show love and how others receive it, you can start shifting your habits, your language, and even your presence. And that's when love starts to land, not just in your heart, but in the hearts of the people you care about.
Yes. I asked my kids this because we have date nights now, and they get to tell me what they want to do. And by telling me what they want to do, tells me how they feel loved.
I love that.
It's really fascinating how they tell me what they want to do. We go and do it. And then just being present in those moments of that has transformed our individual relationships, because 3 boys, 3 different humans completely. Right. And it's interesting. As a mom, I'm like, oh, I love this. I love watching you grow into yourself in the way that you feel the most loved and supported. If I can do anything right, that's it. That's the only thing I got going for me. Now, me and their dad, we're working on this. We're working on it because we were 2 very independent individual people who had a whole bunch of things figured out before we came together. So, it's a little easier with some people than it is with others. And we have the intention and we have a shared value that this matters to us to get right. So even if we're not getting it right, we have the intention to continue to come back and try again. And that shows love unto itself.
So true. This is all beautiful. And I've always felt a little bit trapped by the concept of love languages. We're going to dive deeper into some other things next week that I'm excited about. Just having the concept of a blueprint and knowing that my blueprint, you've seen a house blueprint, there's lots to it. And I love that I can have a blueprint where I can say, you know what? I am 10% acts of service. I do love when there's acts of service, but I'm 70% words of affirmation. And we're even going to pull in some other love languages next week. We've got some other ones for you that I think are fascinating that are completely missed. And Jen, you made a great point. I think a lot of people don't understand any of this. And so they grab a book like that and say, show me the way, because I have no clue. And I love that we are diving so much deeper. It has been so fun to get into the research of this and go, wow, there's so much more to this.
Yes.
This is a fun series. I love this. I'm going to go into my takeaways.
Okay.
I just love that comfort isn't always fulfillment. I think that's really smart. And it sucks, yet it's true.
Yeah. Yep.
Curiosity is a skill you can practice. I'm embracing that. That's the one I want to take forward. Curiosity is a skill you can practice. I want to get curiouser and curiouser in certain aspects of my life that I'm right now realizing I'm not doing. This was such a great insight. The fact that we have connection anchors in relationships.
I love that phrase.
Beautiful thing. I'm like, oh, I know what those are. I'm embrace that. Yeah, I think there was some beautiful takeaways, and just the concept that we are a blueprint.
Yes.
We're not so easily put into this little box of here, you just like this love language, and maybe you speak a little bit of something else. You could be a mix of all these different things.
Oh, and let me tell you how hard that is for your partner, because Jen is, I'm 20, 20, 20, 20. Like, give me that thing 100 times and I'm within 1 point of each of them. That makes it a little bit difficult to show up. Like in one, there's not a go-to. Jen's in a bad mood. I know what she needs. No, it's like, what's today? That's where knowing myself comes in. Right now in this moment, I need this, and I need to be willing to communicate that. I can't just be like, well, guess. And if you don't get it right, that means you don't love me. That's not what this is. My takeaway, I loved this. It's not about loving harder. It's about loving smarter. And I know that I have been there in my past in a very immature way. I have always thought that if I just love you more, something will be different. You will be happier. You will be more. If I just love you more, not if I love you in the correct ways for you. I'm loving you. I'm loving you. I'm burning out in loving you. I can't love you anymore. But I think that if I do love you more, somehow it's my fault that you're not okay. Smarter. What do you need to feel loved? How can I show you that? And man, that would have saved me a lot in my youth. Woo!
And honestly, I give great credit to Gary Chapman, because the 5 Love Languages book actually made us aware that there were other ways.
Yes.
Because if you're going around your life and you're like, well, this is the way you express love, because it's the way my parents did, or I saw, or I absorbed. So this is how love is expressed. To just even know that the awareness is there, that there are other ways, is a huge thing, so that we can take the conversation even further. I give him big kudos for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we ready for questions?
We are. I want to ask first. Okay. What would you change about yourself if you could?
Oh, God. How long do we have?
One thing.
Okay. Now I'm filtering through the mental list that I've created throughout my life. Really, truly, we spoke about it today. It's grace and patience, specifically with myself. And I'm working on it, and I'm working on it, and I'm working on it. And I tell you, mark my words, ask me on my deathbed, I will be working on it right up until that point. Because it's not come naturally to me. I didn't grow up in a household that celebrated that. And I have had to unlearn a number of things that I grew up with that I've constantly judged myself on. If I could snap my fingers and be like, what do you want more of right now? You said one, but I'm racking them up into a parentheses here. It is the grace and patience portion, starting with myself. I think that if I had it the way I desire it, that I could give it the way I desire to give it. Yeah, that is the thing. And because we spoke about it here, and it really does affect a lot in relationships and in just my reflective life, that would be it.
Beautiful.
That was a
Well,
good
I
one.
cannot relate. I mean, I only have it as my affirmation.
Yep.
Yeah. I open my phone and it says, first thing I see, today I will give grace and patience.
Yes. And then when
Relating.
you don't, you're like, shit, today I will give grace and patience. Lock that one
I
back.
evaluated at the end because that's what I was taught to do.
1% better, 1% better. Yes.
Today didn't go so well, so then I have to give myself grace and
That's
patience.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's an inside job, right?
It is.
Oh, yours was a nice deep one. Mine's less so today. Okay.
That's okay. I'm excited about not so deep.
This is going to be a funny one. I don't know.
Okay.
What is the most ridiculous thing you have ever bought online?
Ridiculous thing I've ever bought online. Oh my gosh. There's probably a lot of ridiculous things I've bought online. Most ridiculous thing I've ever bought online. Okay. I'm going to go with this one. I bought one of those like body shapers, which by the way, you should never buy these things online. You should go in a store and try this stuff
What
on.
do you mean, like a corset?
It was like a one piece.
A
Right?
waist shaper thing?
Yeah, so it was like a waist, and I want to say it didn't have the bra part in it, which I learned when I put it on. I was like, oh, you got to have the bra in, otherwise it just takes all the fat and pushes it up above. And I also found out that anytime you buy a shaper, it should have shorts. Otherwise, it's just going to push on down into your legs. I tried it. I didn't even return it. I just donated it. I think I was like, maybe I'll wear this at some point. I also live in Arizona and used to live in Hawaii. I don't need extra layers. It just like
Okay, you are not alone in this, my friend. She is raising her hand right here. I
Been
also
there,
did
done
not
that.
return it. I just went, what fresh hell is this? That's creating more insecurity than it was supposed to fix.
And you know, the funniest part about this whole thing is you and I both have men in our lives. And I'm pretty sure your man's just like my man. He's like, don't buy that stuff for me. You look hot. We get these like, I don't know, just stupid
things.
thoughts of like, well, if I could make that tighter or this or I don't know.
Yeah. If you're doing it for you, go on, girl. If you're
Go
doing
with your
it for
bad self.
anybody else, stop it.
Well, and I was doing it for myself, but I was like, don't ever buy one of these online again. You got to go in the store and try that stuff on and work with a pro. I always think about the Victoria's Secret girls that'll fix your boobs for you. I need the pro.
Yes.
This is not a me job. This is a team.
I love it.
You're not going to hire
It's
the
a team.
team. Don't get the waist shaper or whatever it's called.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
That's funny. That's a good question.
Okay. My cheeks hurt from smiling. Okay. Whew. Y'all,
Oh boy.
in our next episode, we'll dive even deeper into understanding your partner's love blueprint, how to tune in, ask the right questions, and build bridges over those emotional differences. Because when you understand their map, you can navigate the relationship with more ease, connection, and joy. Thanks for being with us on this journey today. If this episode sparks something for you, share it with someone you love. And as always, take care of your heart. It's the most important home you'll ever have.
Bye.
Write your lines with passion.